Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome back to my channel, my Loverlies. If you've never been here before, thank you so much for clicking on my video. I am so happy you found me. I do so hope that you will like and subscribe before you leave. Become part of the Mama family. Mama's got your back, at least where makeup's concerned, and definitely when that makeup is on sale, or cheap, or affordable, or all of the above. Guys, there really isn't a sale that escapes my notice. And speaking of good sales, I picked up this beauty of a palette during the last Beauty Bay sale. So I picked up this palette. This was not on sale. I picked this up for full price, but I really was so intrigued by it, and I'm glad I picked it up. I really wanted to review it for you guys. I have been falling so madly, deeply, truly in love with the Beauty Bay formula. I have quite a few of their palettes now. Not quite a few. I have like 3 or 4 of their palettes now, and I really enjoy each and every one of them. So this is the New Mood palette. We're going to be playing with this bad boy today. We're going to do this really fun kind of watermelon inspired eye look. It is so absolutely adorable. Summer is on its way out the door, guys. We only have about a month, maybe a month and a half of it left before, you know, the leaves start to change and fall rolls around. And then before you know it, it's going to be Christmas, and definitely the warm weather will be far, far behind us. So we're going to enjoy the last vestiges of summer while we can and play with this New Mood eyeshadow palette. So I was really kind of thinking about summery things, and watermelon looks are kind of synonymous with summer, I think. And then I was opening this palette and really looking at the color story, and I was like, you know what? This really is kind of it's a pretty versatile palette, guys. So you have pretty much a neutral palette, but it's got pops of blue and green. It's really, really fun. You have lots of beautiful, warm kind of neutral shades up here. Then you have this kind of purple blue quad, and then you have this quad over here. Because if you break it up into quads, I think it's super, super interesting. You could use all 4 of these shadows together and make a really bomb look. You could use all 4 of these shadows together and make a really bomb simple look. Same goes for this quad, or even this quad. You can do this quad for sure, or even this quad. I think the palette is laid out in such a way that it makes it really easy to digest. It makes it really easy to break down, therefore making it really, really easy to use. It is not an overwhelming palette at all whatsoever, but I think the trick to looking at a new palette and really digesting the color story is, like I said, breaking it down into quads. Just kind of look and see what colors go together, what kind of groupings are, you know, what groupings are there, where are your special shades, where are your matte shades, and just break it down like that, because I know, especially with slightly larger palettes like this, and most definitely the 42 pan palettes that are like ginormous, it can be very, very overwhelming to look at a palette like that and try to figure out what you're going to do with it. But if you try to break things down into smaller pieces, break things down into quads, it makes it very, very easy to really just see what's happening. Sometimes all of the color can get super confusing, but like I said, the layout of this palette is it's very it's almost, I want to say, what is that word that I'm completely brain dead, but it's almost like intuitive, because you can kind of look at it and instantly it draws your eyes to quads, and I thought that was something really, really special. So we're going to play with as many shades in this palette as we can, and then what we don't use I will end up swatching for you guys, but we're basically just going to chat and check out the new palette. So I already have my eyeshadow primer on. I used the Wet n Wild Rose Photo Focus eyeshadow primer. I like this stuff. I know I say it in every single video. Still not my favorite, but a good eyeshadow primer. And then I'm going to take an eyeshadow brush, and this is just a flat, fluffy kind of eyeshadow brush. I got this from Shein. I'm going to wipe it off to make sure there's no dark pigment left on there. from blending out my other eye. And then I'm going to go in to the shade Tender, which is this really beautiful light pinky coral, pinky peachy coral kind of color. It's very much like a blush, like a corally blush color. That's what it looks like on the finger. And that's what she looks like swatched. It is just a stunning, stunning blush color. I even think because this formula is so blendable, you 100% could use that shadow as a blush and it would be absolutely fantastic. I really, really think so. So I'm going to take my big flat fluffy brush. I'm going to go in to the shade Tender, and I'm going to start bringing this just on my upper transition area. I'm going to follow the natural line, the natural contour of my eye, and just kind of buff that on to my transition and lay down a nice even layer of pigment. So it is Saturday night, early Sunday morning, but Saturday night. Y'all, my week, where did my mirror? My week has been absolutely insane. It has been cray here. Oh, I have so much news. I have so much news to share with you guys. So my sister, guys, I have been so worried about her. Her life has been so difficult for, life has just been really difficult for her recently. The pandemic hit her household really, really hard. And she still hadn't fully recovered from that. But something happened and the clouds parted, and just kind of like, those days, like when you really, really need it and just all of a sudden everything starts going right. She had one of those days, and I am so incredibly happy for her. I just cannot tell you guys how happy. Like, I truly, truly am. Y'all, she's been without a vehicle for the longest time. She's been without a vehicle. She's been stuck at the house with 3 children and no way to take them anywhere, no way to go do anything. And if you guys know, being without a car is terrible. It is like the worst thing on the planet, to be stuck at home and know that you can't go anywhere. And it's different where we live because we live in such a rural, I can't say that word. We do not live in a city. We live in the middle of nowhere. There's not public transportation here. There aren't taxis. So when you're stuck, you're stuck. And she called me yesterday, and she bought a car. She bought a car, and she bought such a nice one. So she has 3 kids, and they're very, very active, very involved in school and activities like that. And so she got a man. She got a van, a minivan. Oh, I don't remember what the name of it is, but she got a really beautiful big black minivan. It looks so good. She looks so good in it. It is perfect for her children. Oh, she got a soccer van. She's a soccer mom now. She got a soccer mom car. I am so incredibly happy for her. So I'm going to take this AOA. This is the E132. It is a teeny tiny detail crease brush, and I'm going to take it into this dark pink shade. This is called Passionate. So this one right here, it is a very deep berry toned fuchsia. It is absolutely stunning. Really, really gorgeous. We're going to take that on this brush. This is pigmented. It is incredibly pigmented. So I'm going to take tiny amounts at a time with this shade. And I'm going to start to pack it on the outer edges of my eye. And I'm just going to use stippling motions and really kind of press that onto the eye, because while I was blending this, I noticed that while this shadow is very intensely pigmented, it does, if you over blend it, it doesn't patch, but it does kind of blend away a little bit. You do lose quite a bit of the pigmentation. So I'm really pressing and packing this on and really packing on that pigmentation. And then when I have it everywhere that I want it, I'll go back through with a bigger brush and just kind of blend the edges. I'm going to pack this onto both the inner and outer corners of my eye. Not taking it as high as I did that first shade. Probably about halfway up through my transition area. And then I'm going to take it about a quarter of the way or a third of the way in towards the center of my eye. I'm going to leave a nice big empty spot right in the center to create my halo effect. So yes, she got a car. I am so incredibly excited for her. I am so happy for her. She is so very happy, and that's really what matters. She is incredibly happy. I haven't seen my sister this happy in so long. Oh, it's a wonderful thing. Prayers do get answered. They are heard. So wonderful. So she is taking her babies to the zoo sometime in the very near future. And on her way back from the zoo, she's going to stop by and see me. So I'm super excited about that. I don't get to see her super often, again, just because we live so far away from each other. It's hard. It's hard to get time to get out there sometimes. But I'm excited for her to stop by. And then the puppies are doing so good. If you guys don't follow me on Facebook, you definitely should. You should check out my personal page because I only post my makeup on my business page. But if you guys are at all interested about what goes on with me on a daily basis, I do post all the time. And I have puppies at the moment. They are getting so big. They'll actually be ready for their forever homes next weekend. It's like heartbreaking but exciting at the same time. But we're starting potty training this week because I at least want to, get the process started. I know, especially for, busy schedules, potty training is really difficult and super time consuming. So if I can help out at all and at least get the process started, that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to start potty training this week. We had our shots and stuff this week as well. But guys, they're getting so big. They're so big and absolutely adorable. It's heartbreaking. And then, we couldn't help ourselves. So we ended up naming all of them. And of course, I'm sure that their new owners will rename them. But I think that the names we came up with match their little personalities so incredibly perfectly. We have an Oreo. We have a Mr. Panda. We have a Falcor. If you guys know, you know. My husband picked that one. We have a Lulu. A Luna, because she just looks like a little angel. She's so beautiful. She's so precious. We have a Bentley. And then we have a Miss Piggy. She's so adorable. She is just this big white puffy snowball of just adorable cuteness. But y'all, when I put food out, she attacks it with she is violent. She is violent when it comes to her food. It's the most precious thing ever. But she is definitely a little picky. So that's why we named her that. But they're so adorable. It's going to be so hard. Look how easily that blends. Like if you don't overblend it, it just blends so effortlessly. And sometimes reds can be difficult to blend. And a lot of times, because this has more of a berry undertone to it, it's possible that it would patch or things like that. It is not patching on me at all. It looks really stunning. Takes almost nothing to blend out. Stays beautifully pigmented. Just really great quality. And oh, right here, really great quality. I love the Beauty Bay formula so much. It's just, I did notice with this shade in particular, it is possible to blend it away. So just make sure you're not over blending and you should be good to go. I'm going to take this same sheen brush and I'm going to go back into that tender shade, that first transition shade that we used. So that blush tone. And I'm just going to take this along the uppermost edge just to reinforce that blush tone and make sure it doesn't get lost, and also to help even out any edges that might be there and things like that. Oh, my ears are popping so bad. My allergies are absolutely insane. I think that is probably the single thing that I am the most excited about with fall coming, is that my allergies go away and I will be able to breathe through my nose again. I am so excited. No more watery eyes, no more stuffy nose. I mean, we trade in the beautiful blue sky and the heat, but it'll be nice to be able to breathe again. So that's what we look like so far. I'm going to take that same Shop Miss A brush. This is the E132. And I'm going to take this into the shade Powerful, which is a really beautiful matte, deep, rich chocolate brown shade. I'm going to swatch it for you. Oh, these feel so silky and so incredibly like buttery. Oh, so we're going to use that shade. Just the tiniest amount of it. I'm literally going to gently tap and then smack my brush off. And I'm going to put this just on the very outer V to create this tiniest amount of a shadow and create the illusion of a little bit more depth right there. You see, you just need the smallest amount of it and it blends so easily. It doesn't take very much effort at all, just on that outer V. You see how it makes that little bit, it makes just that little bit deeper and really adds so much to the eye. I'm going to do the same thing on the inner portion of the eye, just right there on the very inner corner. Again, in a V shape, just to create a tiny bit of a shadow. Oh, okay. So I told you about my sister and I told you about the puppies, but did I tell you that my diamond ring broke? My wedding ring broke. I am so completely like devastated. You guys have no idea. So my husband and I have been married for coming on 13 years, and this is my wedding ring. My husband saved for a very long time to buy me this ring. It is my absolute pride and joy. I absolutely love my I love my wedding ring, but it is so thin because I don't like things on my fingers. I am not a very big ring wearer, and because of that, I got the band really thin. But if I don't know if you guys can see that, but my band, like right there, my band literally snapped. It snapped, and then now it's like I can feel it pinching me and stuff, but of course it's my wedding ring, so I'm not going to take it off. So I think I'm gonna have to send it in to get it fixed. I probably should take it off. I'm terrified that something is gonna happen and it's just gonna fall off my finger, and then I would really lose my mind. So I think Monday, when Mr. Hubby goes back to work, I think I'm going to send it with him because there is a jewelry place pretty close. It's actually a pawn shop, but they fix jewelry, and I think I'm going to send it with Mr. Hubby and have him drop it off Monday morning. I'm not thinking that it'll take very long to fix either, but what I think I am going to do is I'm going to ask them to add just a little bit of gold to it and make the band a little bit thicker, just so I don't have to worry about this happening again. So I'm going to take a little bit of concealer. This is the Covergirl True Blend Undercover Concealer in the shade Porcelain. I'm going to take a little bit of that on the back of my hand, and I'm going to use my NYX Say It brush. This is just a concealer brush. Very dirty, very dirty. I'm going to take the tiniest bit right onto the tip of my brush. And I'm going to do like a center cut crease. I'm just gonna cut out the very center of my eyelid, like that. And then I'm gonna fade it in, taper it in towards the center of my lid and give it a little bit of like a triangle or a tornado shape. It's basically what you want. You want a little bit of a tornado-y triangle shape. And then I'm going to take my brush and on the outer edges of the concealer, I'm just going to kind of tap to help fade and blend them. Just like that. So yeah, my ring broke. I was not super happy about that, but it is not the end of the world. We'll get it fixed. And I'm thinking because they just really had, look how pretty that is. I even like that. You could definitely at this point add just about any color you wanted to. We're gonna add green because we're going for like watermelon vibes, but I think you could even put this really stunning, what shade is this? This is called Inspired. Look how beautiful that is. You could put that shade in the center. It would be beautiful. You could put any of these blue shades, and I think that would be really, really pretty. I think if you use this yellow, it would be like a raspberry lemonade kind of look, and that would be gorgeous. There are so many options, but we're going with green today. I'm going to go into the matte green shade first. This is called Energetic. So this kind of, you guys know I love this tone anyway. Let's swatch it for you. We're going to go in on my e.l.f. concealer brush, and we're just going to pack that onto the concealer first. Just set up a nice green base, and then we'll go in with something a little bit more shimmery. I don't think that it'll cost too awful much to fix, just because you know what? I really don't know why I don't think it will cost that much to fix. I'm hoping that it won't. I'm hoping that it won't cost more than like 20-30 bucks. I'm probably way off the mark there and being much too optimistic about the pricing, especially since I'm going to ask them to add a little bit of gold to it as well and make it a little bit thicker. But hopefully my ring is still under warranty or still insured, because I'm going to have him take it. I bought it at the pawn shop. But I'm going to have him take it back to the pawn shop and see if they'll fix it for me, and hopefully they will. So now now that I've put that green on first, just got a little bit of a base going on, I'm going to go into the shade Creative, which is this beautiful green shimmer. I'm going to swatch this for you too. It is so pretty. Oh, grungy and gorgeous and beautiful, and it goes on beautifully with a dry brush. I'm going to show you first with a dry brush, and then I'll wet my brush down and show you what kind of difference that made. It does go on pretty with a dry brush, so getting your brush wet isn't necessary. But I do find that when you wet your brush down with just about any shimmer formula, it always makes it better. It always makes it more metallic. I mean, and if you can make it better, why not make it better, you know? So I'm going to take the same brush. I'm going to take, guys, I have this super cheapy face mist. This is the Embrace Your Face Rose Facial Mist. I got this from Burke's last time I went. It smells really good, but it's really great. It's super, super cheap. There's a ton of it in here, and I just use it to wet down my shimmer sprays or my shimmer shadows. So I'm going to get a good bit on my brush, and then I'm just going to do one squirt. Ooh, I almost dropped it. I'm going to do one squirt of that on my brush, and immediately you can see the difference. Immediately it looks more reflective and more metallic. just down the center. Now, with no extra product on my brush, I'm going to flip the brush over and use the clean side. And I'm just going to rub the very edge of that green to help blend that into the berry tone a little bit better, so we don't have such a stark line there. Just like that. Just kind of fade those edges a little bit, and it's so pretty. Now, if you feel like you lost that dark pink at all, you can go back into that tiny crease brush, tap very gently back into that pink shadow, and just kind of reinforce it on the edges if you feel like it's necessary. Very, very small amount of product. Just kind of reinforce the edges, fade them in a little bit. Just like that. So beautiful. Now, you could definitely leave it here, but I want to add a little, just one more layer of like iridescent, sparkly, shiny goodness. And I want to use as many shades in here as I possibly can. So I'm going to go into one of the topper shades. Now, I have been waiting to show you guys these shades because I think they are just incredibly beautiful. So in this palette, there are two iridescent special topper shades. So you have the shade Serene, which is this one right here, and it is a really beautiful, it's shifty. It's got like a green to blue kind of shift to it. Really, really beautiful. And then you have the shade Free, which is this one, and it is very much the same formula. It's iridescent and translucent, but this one has more of a pink to, I want to say pink to gold shift to it, so you can see the green and blue in this one, and then you see that little bit of like a blushy pink tone in that one. They're really, really beautiful. I'm going to go into the shade Serene, and I'm going to take this on my finger because they work best with a finger, and I'm going to pat this right up the center. Look how much, like, it really just brings it to life. It's like green fire. Iridescent green fire on the lid. It is so incredibly stunning. I am just going to keep that right in the center of the lid, just to really bump up that halo effect. It is so incredibly beautiful. I'm also going to take a little bit of that same shade, and I'm going to use that as our inner corner. And brow bone highlight. I'm not going to go too hard on it. I don't want to take away from the spotlight, but I do want to bring a little bit of light and shimmer to the party. And I think it looks so beautiful on the inner corner. It catches the light, but it's not like overly glittery in any way. And it's definitely not chunky. It's so, so pretty. So I'm going to take a Q-tip and I'm going to clean up my lower lash line. I'm going to take my Q-tip and my simple eye makeup remover and just kind of clean up the little bit of fallout we have going on the lower lash line. And it's really not even fallout. It's just where my brush was too big and I got shadow where I didn't necessarily want it. Just clean it up with a Q-tip. Look how pretty that is. Is that just not absolutely stunning? Oh, I am so in love with it. And then we're gonna take an e.l.f. This is an e.l.f. eyeshadow brush. It is a flat, dense, slightly fluffy brush. It's great for lower lash line work. And first, I'm gonna dip into the shade Tender. So that light blush shade. And I'm gonna buff this all over the lower lash line. I think that this color is so incredibly beautiful. I love that color so, so much. It's like a corally guava shade. It makes me think of like tropical fruit. It is so incredibly pretty. And then I'm going to take the same brush and I'm going to go into that darker pink shade, Passionate. Again, very, very gently tapping in. And I'm just going to bring this super closely to my lower lash line. And I'm just going to keep it to about the outer third of my lower lash line. Trying to keep it really nice and tight. We can definitely go in and clean things up again later if we need to. That's why we do our eyes first. Just keeping it really close. Just trying to wrap the eye in that really beautiful watermelon color. But I'm trying to build a little bit of depth out here on the outer edge. And then I'm going to slowly taper it off towards the inner corner of my eye, just like that. And for a teeny tiny little bit of extra depth, I'm going to take my AOA, this is the E124, my teeny tiny pencil brush. I'm going to very, very gently dip into that brown. That was the shade Powerful. And I'm just going to bring it on the very outermost, like the outermost edge. Of my lower lash line, just like that, just to kind of enhance that shadow, just the tiniest amount. For the waterline, we're going to use, in the upper waterline, we're going to use the same thing I always use. This usually doesn't change. We're going to use my Milani Stay Put liner. This is in the shade After Dark, and I'm just going to line my upper waterline. And the reason I do this is to basically help my lashes look a little bit more full. This gives the illusion of volume. And then for my lower lash line, we're going to go in with this bad boy. So this is the No Budge Matte Eyeshadow Stick from e.l.f. Cosmetics. This was from the Game Up collection, and this is in the shade Lava Lamp. It is the most gorgeous green, like grungy green color. Super, super pretty, but it goes perfectly with this eye look, and they look so incredibly beautiful. This shade, this formula in particular, are so nice in the waterline. So I'm going to line my waterline with this, just to reinforce that green color. Don't you love eyeliner faces? Just like that. Now, it's not a big deal, but it does kind of reinforce that green and just kind of brings everything together a little bit more. I'm going to go back in to that e.l.f. eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to very gently, one more time, run that along the lower lash line, just to get that eyeliner blended and soften up the edge just a little bit, and you pretty much have the finished eye. We're going to line the upper lash line with a little bit of a black eyeliner. This is the NYX Epic Ink Liner, just in the shade Black. But then we're going to do Watermelon Seeds. This is what brings everything together. It's such a cute little addition. Guys know I love the tiny details. Ooh, I cannot wait. Oh my goodness, did I tell y'all that my son made fudge today? That was a big shocker to me. If you guys know Sean, you will know that he is 100% a food snob, just like his mother. I am a chef, and I believe that good food is something that everyone is entitled to. My son very much believes that as well. And because I'm a chef, I cook continuously, and Sean actually really enjoys being in the kitchen with me. And obviously he is learning something because, y'all, he went into the kitchen today. He was like, Mama, I want something sweet. I was like, well, baby, there's sugar and peanut butter out there. Why don't you make yourself some fudge? Not thinking that he was actually going to do it, right? This little boy got out my recipe book. Now I have a really simple recipe for fudge. If you guys would like me to share that with you, I definitely will do that. It literally takes 10 minutes and it's the best fudge. Oh, it's so, so good. I was like, why don't you go make yourself some fudge? This boy made fudge. His first time. I didn't help him in any way. I didn't I didn't oversee the process. Like, nothing. I did absolutely nothing. And he made an entire pan of fudge, and it is sinfully delicious. It is, it's so good. I've been eating on it all day. I was so impressed though. So I did that line just across my upper lash line. I didn't really do a wing or anything. I just kind of lined my lash line. And then I'm going to take this black liquid eyeliner and I'm just going to make dots. They don't have to be perfect. That's not the point of this. They just have to resemble watermelon seeds. And I think it brings such a cute little aspect to the entire look. It's just that unexpected little addition that when somebody looks at you and they really look at your eye look, they're like, oh my gosh, those are watermelon seeds. And you're like, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. They are. Are they not adorable? So this is pretty much our eye look for today, guys. I'm going to, of course, add a little bit of mascara. I'll do that once we get off. Once I get off of here, I'm not going to make y'all watch me put my mascara on. But I do want to swatch the rest of these shadows for you. Just because we didn't get a chance to use everything. So this is the shade Gracious. Really gorgeous, gorgeous gold, metallic. Then we have the shade Curious, which is a stunning warm caramel color. Incredibly beautiful. Then we have the shade Grateful, which is a really pretty transition color. It's more of like a, I want to say like a tan skin tone color. We have the shade Intimate, which is this is a duochrome, and I did not know that. So this is an insanely gorgeous duochrome. This is a rose gold duochrome. It's got a shift from like a peachy gold, a peachy pink color to gold. I want to show it to you guys on my finger because it looks better on my finger. Can you see that? The shift from like, it's almost like pink to copper to gold. That's, wow. That is so pretty. I want you guys to get a better swatch of that. Oh, there you can. There you can see the shift. It goes, it's super, super metallic, but it goes from like copper to pink to gold. Okay, that's incredibly beautiful. You have the shade Optimistic, which is a warm camel color. You have the shade Euphoric, which is another duochrome. This is a green to red duochrome. So you can see it's green there, and then it shifts to a red coppery color. Green to copper, you can kind of see the shift there a little bit. Let's get it on my finger. So you can see green. Okay, so there's it on my finger. It looks green and gold, but then, yeah, there we go. You can see the kind of red shift to it. This is a really great, this is a freaking awesome palette, guys. The quality in here is absolutely stunning. You have the shade Focused, which is a really pretty matte periwinkle color. You have the shade Inspired, which is a gorgeous, it's a duochrome as well. It's a gorgeous blue to violet to purple shifting shade. You have Bold, which is a matte black. You have the shade Content, which is a deeper like sky blue. Just a deeper periwinkle. It's really pretty. You have the shade Confident, which is a deep matte navy. You have the shade Blessed, which is a mid-toned warm brown. And then last but not least, you have the shade Joyful, which is a matte sunshine yellow. So there's the color story, guys. What do we think? Really, really gorgeous. Incredible, incredible quality. I'm going to go ahead and put Mama's stamp of approval on this eyeshadow palette. I think it's phenomenal. I think that if you've been looking at it and just were not really inspired by the color story, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, maybe take another look. There is a whole lot more here than meets the eye. I know that in the beginning, I was not particularly drawn to this color story. I thought, honestly, it looked a little bit boring. I was definitely not as excited for it as I am now. After putting my fingers in there and playing with it, I think this is an incredible, incredible palette. I think that it checks all of the boxes. You've got multiple textures in here. The formula on the mattes is velvety and smooth. The texture of these shimmers is highly reflective and metallic. Not only do you get metallics in here, but you also get duochromes and iridescent topper shades. I just think this is a super, super fun palette. I think it's incredibly versatile. I think this could be perfect for either like a night out on the town if you wanted to do something fun and bright and colorful, but it's also basic enough that you could wear this on an everyday basis and still get a different look every single time you played with it. I think this is really, really just 10 out of 10 quality, formula, textures, contrast, everything. You've got great depth in here as well. It's a fantastic, fantastic eyeshadow palette. This usually goes for around 20-25 bucks. I think it's worth every freaking cent of that. I think the packaging is absolutely adorable. I think this is a smash hit. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. As always, I will list everything that I used in today's video in the description box below, along with the links to my other social medias. So if you guys are not following me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, please make sure that you go do that. I would love to see you guys over there. I post at least, I say one, but I post a couple times a day. I don't ever let you get too awful bored too quickly. As always, no filters, no edits, no fancy lighting. It's just me sitting in front of my camera, playing with some makeup, hoping you guys are enjoying what I'm doing. I hope you enjoyed this week's New Makeup Monday. I love you so very much. And until next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves, and remember, you're important. Bye.